Look, it's 2D or it's nothing, alright? If none of this 3D nonsense. What are you, some kind of
Stop
faggot?
bullying me. 3D is better than 2D because you can have 3 instead of 2. 3 heads is better than 2, Ben.
Yeah, but 2D is
no,
simpler.
shut
You
up.
don't need
No.
the extra dimension because 2D
Yes,
is
you
already
did.
perfect.
You need to
Everyone
be able
knows
to see...
that 2D
Shut up,
girls are
Nicholas.
hotter than 3D girls.
Yeah, but you need to be able to see the thickness, okay? And you can't with a simple 2D shape.
You can get plenty thick with the 2D shape.
You can get height and you can get width, but you can't get that thick,
You can
okay?
use perspective tricks to make it look like there's thickness.
Perspective tricks are exactly what they're called. They're tricks, okay? They're not the real deal, Ben.
Yeah, but you can augment the 2D without even needing to get
Shut
into
up!
3D.
Stop!
Dingus. If you accepted our ways, maybe you'd get on the Jedi Council.
Caution, this episode contains spoilers for the following movies: Hold the Dark, Django Unchained, Mandy. We now continue with the Temporary Uncles podcast. Poopity scoop, scoop diddy whoop, whoopity scoopity poop.
Hey everybody, welcome to the
10-minute
I'll
barrel.
do that again. Hey everybody, welcome to the 10-minute shit.
The Temp and Mary.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Temporary Uncles podcast episode.
I'm Temp and you're Mary.
15?
I think this.
Temp Mary.
It's
The Temporary Uncles.
it's the 15th one, but it's only number 14 technically because we had a special. Hey Nick, guess what?
What?
I have something for you.
What?
I have a really special gift. Okay? Now, I have to ask you, are there times when you are watching a film like Star Wars or other, where you notice that our friend, Jonah, our personal close friend, Jonah Hill, turns up and
Hill.
and Joan of the Hill, where
my
Michael
favorite
Cera ain't right, and it just takes you out of it. You're watching and you go, I'm not ready for this boy.
No, I can't say that I have.
Well, fuck you. In this case, I have a thing which I've done for you. I have
Oh, you finally watched Django Unchained.
to Django Unchained. This is an historic moment where it has been many moons where I've possessed this film under hostage.
Yeah, you've borrowed my DVD for at least 2 months.
And I watched it last night,
Yeah.
and
The night of last.
yeah, yes, and it is currently my favorite Tarantino film.
Really?
The only bad thing about this film is Tarantino's Australian accent.
Which is still, like, entertaining
It
to
is
watch, so it's not entirely a
Complete
bad
dog shit.
thing.
It
Good guy, mate. Oh, we are giant.
Nah, black. Nah, we don't need no black. Yeah, we talk about black.
I don't even know why why his character had to be Australian.
He couldn't because there were 2 other Americans there. They could have had another guy be Australian or none of them being Australian, considering that Australia didn't have much of a presence in the slave trade in America in the 1860s. So
Precisely, fellow
I
Benjamin.
don't know why they decided that to be the case.
I really like the scene where they do the thing.
I really like the scene where he shoots the naked guy's dick off.
That's good.
Yeah.
I've stared directly into Jamie Foxx's taint and I've lived.
And it has nothing to do with Django Unchained. It's just,
Yes, it does.
you just have seen.
I just met him one time. We're in like the bathhouses up Swanston Street, and, it
And
was
he
just
said,
like,
oh, watch this, and he ripped his skin off and showed you.
yeah. I ripped his skin off, and I looked into the cavity in his
Into
pelvis
the
bone.
void. Into the abyss.
It smiled back at me. We became friends.
I screamed into the abyss, and the abyss screamed back.
I love him. Great. And this film, I feel that
Oh yeah, back on the film.
Yeah.
there's a really good thing about this film, and what it is that it makes gunfights seem like a terrible thing to be in. Because I feel that in most films, people sort of, they get hit, they fall over, and it's like, oh, whoops. But when people get hit by bullets in this film, they scream, they explode, they writhe around on the floor. It's a bad time.
They blow up a lot. There's blood all over the walls in that final fight scene.
People's heads explode.
And you know what's great about that final that big shootout near the end of the movie is that all the blood on the walls is actually just from the blood packs that were on the actors. None of it was like added behind the scenes.
I thought you were gonna say it was from Jamie Foxx and Samuel L. Jackson.
No. Samuel L. Jackson wasn't involved in that fight, and Jamie Foxx didn't get shot.
That's not true. He was involved in the fight. He gets kneecapped at the end.
Not in the fight, in a different shoot.
Black ass. Well, you said the one at the end, and that's the last
Near
one.
the end, you fucking idiot. Learn to listen.
Ooh, fight.
Do you want to have a real gunfight with real blood packs?
Nah.
Real blood packs as opposed to fake blood packs where they're not actually real.
Yeah. As
Nice.
opposed to in Django Unchained, where they have real fights, like the Mandingo fight.
What I love is that one...
Yeah, the men in that movie, the actors
one-
in that movie
that
actually
one
died.
body that Django's hiding behind that just gets shot repeatedly over and over with just a million blood bags going off.
You get the
That's
guy
all-
that's like in the middle of the
that's-
room that they just keep hitting him instead.
What do you think
It's
about
like me.
what do you think about all the crash zooms in that movie? Just the zoom really close.
It makes me feel like something's going on. Like when
It
we,
makes me feel like I'm there.
like in the opening bit with the credits where people are walking and it just zooms in on on just another dude in line. I'm thinking, oh,
Yeah,
what's that?
yeah.
And it turned out there was nothing.
It was just a zoom. That one bit where when Calvin Candy gets, spoiler alert for Django Unchained, which is a movie that if you haven't already seen it, you should watch it now.
I mean, if you haven't seen Django Unchained, what's wrong with you? Like,
Yeah.
if you get the opportunity, you should watch it immediately.
But that one moment when Calvin Candy gets shot and it just zooms right in on Samuel L. Jackson's face as he screams.
No.
I don't know why, but I find it oddly funny. This isn't even the
If
first.
he kept going for another 1.7 seconds, I would have slapped his face.
See, this isn't even the first time he did that. Earlier today, while we were watching a movie, what was it? You were just like, I can't remember why you were doing it, but you were just going like, for like a
Because
really
he's an
long
idiot.
time.
It's simple. It's because he's an idiot.
No, I'm really intelligent. Okay.
I find that immensely hard to believe.
Look.
That is quite possibly one of the hardest things to swallow. Okay, you being intelligent.
What about this dick?
Well, how can I swallow something that doesn't exist?
Ooh.
Yeet!
Oh no, I got.
You got yoted. Is it yoted, yeeted, or yite? Tell me right now. Tell me.
I don't know how to conjugate the verb to yeet.
Well, that is
It's
because
yote.
It's
it's simple.
Romane's yote domus.
Anyway,
Yeet
you
to
mentioned.
Crusoe.
You mentioned. So Ben, you're an avid Minecraft player.
Yeah, I've got a lock on my door that is actually run by Redstone.
He's actually got a sign on his door that says Minecraft gamer at work. Do not enter. It's really impressive.
It says a smelting gold. That's what it says.
So Ben,
The
But,
height of learning.
What was that movie that we watched earlier today?
A bad one.
Yeah.
It was disappointing.
Ben,
Well,
You're-
let's go on about it.
Like
Stop
my
just
orgasm.
randomly adding tangents about Minecraft when we actually have something to talk about.
once
You were going to do it again.
I wasn't.
You were.
I wasn't.
Anyway, what was the movie called, Ben?
It was called Hold My Beer.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Directed by Jeremy Saulnier. Hold My Beer.
Directed by Jim Salt and Pepper.
Dude, hold my beer.
Jim Salt and Pepper directed Hold the Dark, and it was very disappointing, especially considering how good Blue Ruin and Green Room were.
Directed by Jeff
What about
Sofar
Red
Lati
Room?
Do.
What about Red Rune? You said green and blue.
Do you want to sniff my ass?
Why did you laugh so hard at your own joke?
That's
It's not even a
Ben's
joke.
That's Ben's trademarks. Laughing really hard at things that he says.
Hey, Nicholas,
Ben just says the word funny and he starts laughing.
hey, Nicholas, you ever worn a pair of pants? That's what he does.
What was it about Hold the Dark, directed by Jeremy Saulnier, that was so bad?
Well, like it was.
What?
You can't hold darkness, Nicholas. Darkness is a
Watch
lack
me.
of
Hey,
light.
Christopher, shut up.
No, you.
Like it, for the most part, it was because the character, like the main guy that does all of the killing, does it without seemingly any reason. Like there are people in
Yeah,
it
Alexander
which he just
Skarsgård.
shoots. Yeah, that he just
Yeah.
shoots in the face, and then there are other people like the main guy who's the main dude.
Yeah.
He shoots him once, but then doesn't shoot him again. But there are other much less threatening people that he just caps for no reason. But then the main dude, which he like mortally wounds but doesn't finish off when there's a gun near him, and it makes no sense. So it's just a nonsensical.
There's like there's no motivation at all for the villains.
What is the impetus for anyone to do anything in the movie?
There is absolutely no motivation for any character in the film, except maybe the police officer with the mustache.
Well, that's because it's his job to
exactly.
do the policing.
Yeah.
But it opens like with the main guy, and he gets contacted by a lady who needs help, and that's the initial impetus.
Yeah.
And then that gets thrown on, tipped over, where you go, okay, actually, there is no motive anymore. But then they never replace it. They don't go, oh, actually, we need to then rectify the whatever.
Yeah.
Because they never get on a path which actually leads to anything. They just insert 1,000 different nonsensical things.
Yeah.
And I don't even feel like the main guy is the main guy.
And I don't really know, like, whose fault it is. Because Macon Blair, he's a good writer, because he did a film called I Don't Feel at Home in This World Anymore, which he wrote and directed, which was very good. And Jeremy Saulnier is also a very talented writer and director because of Green Room and Blue Ruin, which are fantastic films. All I can think of at the moment is maybe the book that the movie's based on, Hold the Dark, isn't particularly good. But then I look online and apparently the book is good and the movie's just shit. So I don't know what's happened.
It feels like, well, there's something that you suggested earlier, but I think maybe it was one of those situations where the book was very expansive.
Maybe.
And that maybe the film was a whole lot longer initially, and they had to cut out a lot.
It did feel like there were bits missing from the film, I think.
So that when...
And bits that didn't need to be in the film that could have been replaced by something better, like the shootout.
Yeah, so like when you have questions about like, well, why does this character do this thing or other, and there doesn't seem to be a good reason. Maybe the reason is in the book and is quite clear and explained, but they don't get around to it, or they don't have time, or whatever. So that makes for a very slow plodding film about snow.
Yep. I mean, the scenes, I'd say the opening, half hour of the film is actually really well done.
Yes.
I really like it. And then it suddenly, the mystery flips, and now the movie just doesn't know where it's going.
Also, there's about a 15-minute gunfight where 12 different police officers get killed by a guy who's standing 10 meters away. And
also, he's out in the open as well, so it's not like they couldn't hit him. Yet, for some reason, they couldn't hit him.
A not well-covered enemy who's 10 meters away. There's a bunch of policemen, American
with machine guns, too.
American policemen with a whole range of weaponry, and none of them hit this guy until eventually a cop finds his way around into the place where the enemy is, who is still completely in the open, is not bound to the floor, he can move freely, and then he shoots him at about 1.5 meters away.
Yeah.
A complete anticlimax to a long-ass gunfight.
Well, the movie, and the ending of the movie is also incredibly anticlimactic as well. So,
The two people that we're following, that were the two supposed criminals, just get away.
Yeah.
And at the end of it, it's not like, oh, their dastardly plan was... Because the thing is, the most dastardly thing that they do happens within the first 10 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
And so the end of it, they just sort of nuzzle each other like a bunch of furries, and then they leave.
Well, and also, we have, no idea if they're in cahoots or if they planned it from the beginning. And, we have no idea what their motive is. I thought that the guy was coming in to kill the girl, and then suddenly they're partners now. They're partners in crime suddenly.
Well, he just sort of kills everyone, so it seems that he doesn't have a whole lot of issue with murdering. And she seems to be quite deranged, because initially she seems worried that her son gets killed, but it turns out that she did it, or supposedly she did it, unless that kid's been in a basement for years. And then she disappears, he goes after her, the police go after the both of them, he kills indiscriminately because reasons, they meet up. They both pretend to be wolves, like this insane bitch that I went to primary school with who thought she was a fox. They go and they do that, and then the movie ends, and then it's just left with our protagonist in the hospital being like, hey, I mentioned you, remember? You're my daughter.
Yeah.
How's it going? The end.
Yep.
Get it together.
It's just an anti-movie. There's no motivation and there's no climax.
Yeah, listen, Jingle
And
Singleton,
some
I
movies
really
can
liked
do
Green
that.
Room.
Some movies can do that really well, like having a lack of motivation or having like a very anticlimactic ending or something like that. Some movies do it really well, and some movies don't. And this is one of those movies that doesn't.
This movie's pussy stink.
Anyway, let's talk about a different movie, one that all three of us actually saw, so that Christopher here, because we just had 10 minutes of him not talking. God forbid.
Wow.
But we saw a movie a couple weeks ago. I can't remember exactly when it was, but
It was like 2 or 3 years ago. It was like
years,
6 to 8 years ago.
68 years ago.
Yeah, 6 to 8 years ago.
Yeah, that's what I said. 68 years ago.
628 years is a very long time.
We just borrowed a joke from Madagascar. This is the low point of the podcast.
Did we?
Yeah.
Mrs. Obama.
68 months. No, 6 to 8 months.
Oh.
From the Penguin.
You really think that we remember anything from Madagascar?
Yeah, that was like 2 to 6 years ago.
The only thing I remember about
26
Madagascar,
years ago.
the only thing that I remember about Madagascar is the Penguins and Mrs. Obama crossover.
The Penguin with Mrs. Obama.
Yes.
She wasn't even in office ever.
What? She was the first lady, you idiot.
Yeah, she was not in office. She just was married to the person that was in office.
Ben, you need one of those shirts that says...
I mean, like, she was in there,
Ben.
but she wasn't, like, in office.
Ben, you need a shirt
Can you
that says...
stop talking?
She wasn't a voted representative of the people.
Ben, you need a shirt that says, please be patient with me, I have autism. Because you're so fucking stupid.
I don't think,
Anyway,
As a
let's
side-
talk about the movie that we saw like 4 or 5 weeks ago. That was called Mandy.
Yes.
Actually, it was probably closer to 3 weeks ago. 3 or 4 weeks ago. But Mandy, it was a really good movie that we all saw together at Cinema Nova.
Yeah, I like the part with Mandy in it.
I've been listening to King Crimson, like, all the time since that, like,
Have
specifically...
you listened to the soundtrack for Mandy, though?
No.
You stink.
Mainly just...
Absolute fool!
Just Starless, because Starless is an excellent song.
I've only listened to Court of the Crimson King.
Well, you need to, like, get some culture in you, because...
You need
Court of the Crimson King is excellent, okay?
It is, but you
Yeah.
also need to expand it. You listen to Red, which is the album that,
I need to
that
listen
it's
to that
on,
one.
because the title track is heavy as hell, and Starless is a banger.
In the Wake of Poseidon's a good one, too.
Yeah, that's also good.
That's
Do you
very
reckon that if I went to a club and I requested like King Crimson, that they'd play it?
Define club.
Like,
Because there's like five
Like
or
you go in
6
the
different
Mickey
kinds
Mouse
of club.
Clubhouse?
Well,
or...
like
Yeah,
You
go to
go
Mickey
to
Mouse
like-
Club, they'd probably play it.
yeah. Do you
You
reckon?
look like you were in so much pain in that like second before. You're like,
You're like, my life is coming to an end.
It's because I was talking while I was sneezing.
So if I like had a room,
Most of the time, when you're talking and you sneeze halfway through, you kind of just like stop talking for a bit. But I'm like, stop it!
yeah, but you look like someone had stabbed you in the bankers. You're like,
I know that you were doing a demonstration of the face, and I wasn't looking at your face, and that's the same experience that the audience will have because they can't see your face either. You putz.
Stop!
I was gonna like slap him in the face.
You've gotten up like periodically throughout this recording and just like
Look, you've tried to yoke people like 6 or 8
It's just
times.
It's because I've been sitting down for
whipping
like
and
all day and I
banging.
need to be up.
Oh, is that what that is? Is that
Can you do a Fortnite dance for us?
Well, he's the
The
he's
Degenzu?
Ellen DeGeneres.
He's the
So
Ellen
he-
Degenerate that plays Fortnite.
Well, haven't you seen Ninja and Ellen play Fortnite?
Oh,
Ellen Degenerate? That's good.
have you never heard that before? You're almost 21 years old and you've never heard the phrase Ellen Degenerate.
Look, I've imagined it, but I hadn't actually heard someone use the term. I just think that it's, the first time I heard it was really good.
Okay.
Do you reckon that
Stop.
you could play like a 13-minute progressive rock song to a bunch of 8-year-olds and have them listen to it?
Oh yeah, we're going back to this. I don't know. I don't know. It depends on the like. Okay, so let's do it.
What if it featured Cardi B?
King Crimson featuring? Well, I mean, King Crimson did a song with Kanye, so
Yeah, but it's
What?
Kanye.
yeah. No, the song.
Poopity
No, he
He
sampled,
sampled it, but
King
but
Crimson.
but they got he got permission from Greg Lake to use the sample. So it's not like he just got the sample and did the song.
Yeah, but that's not really a collaboration.
Yeah, that's different.
But I'm saying, that like it's not uncommon for rappers to use like.
That's like saying the
rock
Sugar
music
Hill
samples,
Gang collaborated with Chic.
Well, Aerosmith did a collaboration with Run DMC.
They appeared in the same music video. That's a collaboration. That's fine.
Well, and the same song.
That is correct.
Yes.
Like they.
I'm pretty sure that's the definition of a collaboration.
exactly.
Is working together to create content.
Exactly. Why are you looking at me? You should be looking at him. He's
Yeah,
the one who didn't realize it was a...
Benjamin, you dolt!
He could be staring into the back of my head and I wouldn't know because I'm not even acknowledging his presence at the moment.
Well, yeah,
Don't
and then the audience won't know either because it's a listening thing.
Yeah, well, I'm not the audience, so I don't care.
He touched me.
So, Mandy.
Oh yeah, back on that.
It's a really good Nicolas
I
Cage
like the
movie.
word Mandy because it's like, what if you got the word man and then put D in it? It's really funny.
Put a D in a man.
D-Man.
Yeah. That's what Ben does all the time.
A man D's
As
nuts.
the big guy.
What? You got it.
You did it.
That wasn't even funny,
It's the
Nicholas.
best joke that you've ever made,
Ladies
Nicholas.
and gentlemen, we got him.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mambo number 5. Anyway, Mandy was a really good film. It has Nick Cage in it. It has a funny wee scene.
A
Linus Roach.
funny wee scene.
He does! Linus Roach shows his wee. He goes completely naked in a pink drenched room.
Like
It was
it's
quite humorous.
This movie is drenched in neon light. Like
it's not wrong to describe the way that you did, Chris. Like when I think about it, it's like a dangerous psychopath who exposes himself to this poor woman
that
who's
he's kidnapped and drugged.
under the effects of strong psychedelics in the
Yeah.
hopes that he'll intimidate her into joining his sex cult.
Yeah.
His end of the
But his
world
penis
sex
isn't
cult.
particularly big.
But funny wee scene.
There were people laughing when he got naked.
Yeah.
This is one of those movies, I think you can agree with me. Now you know what I was talking about when I was talking about people laughing at inappropriate moments in movies.
Yeah.
Mandy, because, it's a movie starring Nicolas Cage, so immediately people will think it's silly, even during the scenes that aren't silly. But, it's just one of those movies where there's a lot of scenes that aren't particularly silly.
When he dances around in his tidy whities and drinks vodka really
That was
loud.
a very-
Dance.
that
He
was a
doesn't
very-
dance.
Yeah, but that was a
What are you
very
talking
relatable
about?
Did
scene.
people laugh then?
He didn't dance though. He was like screaming in anguish because he just saw his
Yeah, he
wife
was-
burn to death.
Yeah, I
and
mean-
because he's crying and he's in his underpants, people are laughing because it's Nick Cage.
It was
Yeah.
a very
But then,
relatable
but no.
scene.
But what I do like about that scene is though that the longer it goes on, the less people started laughing because they realize, oh shit, this is a guy who just watched his wife burn to death.
It gets more uncomfortable
Yeah,
as
exactly.
he drinks vodka more loudly.
Yeah.
And screams. And
What I find
cries
about
and
that
punches things.
what I find about that scene though is especially jarring is just the layout of it because most of the movie's pretty dark or like neon light and stuff. Even the outdoor scenes aren't particularly bright. And then suddenly we're in this light room with this loud yellow wallpaper.
Yeah.
And it's just out of nowhere. And I think also the people might have been caught off guard because this scene came right after the Cheddar Goblin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After Freddy
Love the
Freaker's cousin.
Yeah.
Cheddar Goblin is just Freddy Freaker's cousin. There's
What I
no
love
denying
about
it.
Cheddar Goblin is it's the commercial was directed by the guy who did Too Many Cooks.
And the fact that there's an official Twitter account that's
Yes,
you know,
there's no
active.
there's like barely there's it's just funny.
Yes, it is.
We need to reboot him.
Yeah,
That's what he was doing.
What do you mean?
but I
What-
think
I
yeah
don't
the
understand
problem
you.
with one thing that was weird about Mandy was the because Nick Cage makes a lot of facial expressions.
There's a
And
particular
immediately
one right
people,
at the end.
immediately people will laugh at the facial expressions.
Mm.
But it's not. It like the first half of the movie isn't particularly silly. It's quite slow paced. It's quite somber. I mean, there are some funny moments in it, but most of it is just like dread.
Yeah.
It's quite tense, and there's also some really nice relationship moments between Mandy and Red.
Mm.
And then like on the halfway point after Mandy's killed, like pretty much exactly halfway through the movie, it becomes this chaotic, psychotic, psychedelic action movie, and it's amazing.
I feel like it just changes genres because, as you said, yeah, the first part is very sort of thriller-esque,
yeah.
the tension.
The first half of the movie is like a horror movie.
Yeah.
Second half of the movie is an action movie.
Yeah, because it's
But it has like the same tone, the same production design, the same aesthetic throughout the entire film.
because the air is really quite it's just thick with tension, but then it sort of takes a right turn, and after he kills the first big nasty, he then just becomes God Cage and just stomps people with impunity.
Well, what I think happened is so we're told that these beings, like by Bill Duke's character Mac from Predator, we're told from him that these creatures are just people who tripped on this crazy acid that turned them into like these immortal demon creatures.
Yeah,
that must be some good.
And that's what I think happens to Nick Cage. Because he has some of that. He has like a tip from his finger. And he just takes a little lick of it and he suddenly goes even more crazy than he already was.
I love the chainsaw fight.
And
that was amazing.
And the chainsaw fight happens after that. So that's what I'm thinking happened is, like, after he snorts all that cocaine with his knife, that he's killed the first two guys, and then he takes a bit of that LSD, and then he becomes even crazier. And he unkillable, because he was pretty weak before then, and then he's like unstoppable after he takes the LSD.
I mean, well, it's not even. I don't think it's quite comparable because in the first couple fights that he has, he's still human Cage, where you're worried that he's going to get killed. But then after a certain point, like when he sort of has the super acid, he then just becomes unkillable.
That's literally what I just said.
Yeah, that's literally what he said.
Yeah, that's literally what I said.
That's literally what he said.
That's literally what I said.
Literally what he said.
That's what I said, man.
That's what he said.
Well, it's like he becomes Rambo in Nick Cage's body. Like when you watch an 80s action film and you've got no fear for the character because you know that they'll win.
What's funny is that that's not the first Rambo movie doesn't do that. The first Rambo movie is very different.
I haven't actually seen Rambo. He's just I was just
the
using
first
him
Rambo.
First Rambo, he doesn't
first
kill
blood.
anyone.
He doesn't kill anyone in the first Rambo movie.
He accidentally kills someone, and that freaks him over.
Yeah, he's this PTSD-ridden veteran who's run off into the woods, and all these police officers are hunting him, and he just sets all these traps to stop them. And he's like, the only person he kills is a complete accident. So he doesn't kill anyone on purpose. And the movie's very realistic. It's very dark. And then the second movie's, it's like a complete betrayal of the character. He becomes this 80s action hero who kills. I think he's got like 30 something confirmed kills in Vietnam, and then in the second movie his kill count is like 70 people.
Okay, well,
that's an 80s action
movie.
Then
he becomes Rambo 2 Rambo. We just go, well, I don't have to worry anymore. It's just about enjoying the carnage because he's won already. He's got his doofy Final Fantasy axe.
Yeah.
He's got blood in his beard. That's the end. I'm just gonna
I
watch
really
him
love this,
stomp.
I really love this scene where
when he's in the car.
No, when Rambo uses Omni Slash with his Buster Sword on all those terrorists. It's a great scene. Love it.
What I love Mandy's ending. The ending is just great. When they're in the car and he's hallucinating his dead wife, and he does this creepy grin directly into the camera.
Nick Cage isn't human. He doesn't understand human emotions.
I love that creepy grin directly into the camera, and that picture has become my Discord profile picture.
Yes.
Anyway, what do you think of the Predator, Kazoo?
So it was well.
It's
Wait,
okay.
which Predator?
The Predator.
The Predator, the Chris Hansen one?
No.
Why don't you have a seat over there?
No.
Why don't you have a seat over there?
No. That's not even what the show's called. It's called To Catch a Predator. You idiot.
Where Chris Hansen is the Predator all along.
That would make The Predator a better movie.
In the end, at the end of Predator, they catch Chris Hansen.
No, not Predator. The Predator. There's a difference between the two movies.
Hey, you know that
Predator is a really good 80s action movie starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. The Predator is a crappy action movie made in 2018 starring people
Chris
that
Hansen.
I can't remember the names of.
The Predator is a 48-year-old man who touched little Jimmy. That's the
who
Predator.
legally changed his name to Ben Weinstein and is now doing
For
a
tax
podcast
purposes.
with two little boys.
Would you start a film company and then like use the Weinstein Company logo but call it the Weinstone Company?
That's smart.
I think that might be a risk.
What's the what?
They don't know because they don't have that name anymore. They're called Lantern Entertainment now.
Oh, really? They changed
Yeah,
it to
and
get
I think
away
it's
from that.
I think it's just run by Lawrence Bender now.
Oh, Bender?
Yeah, Lawrence Bender.
That's an unfortunate name. Lawrence
Bending Bender
Faggot.
Rodriguez.
Is
I always do that. I laugh unironically. And I laugh ironically, and then I start laughing unironically.
the thing?
It's you with everything. You start saying yeet ironically, and now you say it
At
unironically.
least I don't have a nicotine addiction from a flash drive.
What are you talking about?
Nicholas! Think of a topic!
Let's do improv sentences.
Okay, I
am
Great.
at...
Fortnite.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, have you ever gotten the Battle Victory Royale?
Ben?
Yeah.
Ben, tell us about Fortnite.
How many
Neither of us
V-Bucks do you have?
Neither of us play Fortnite. Ben, can you explain to us and the viewers at home what Fortnite is?
It's a battle royale game, which is a genre that Epic didn't.
They made a game out of that Japanese film?
That's a really good Japanese film.
That was a really good Japanese film.
All viewers, watch the Japanese film Battle Royale by...
It's like the Hunger Games, but good. I
By...
can't remember who directed it, I'm sorry.
Weak. Insufficient.
But it stars Gogo Yubari from Kill Bill.
And Takeshi.
Kitano.
It
No, it's just
stars
Takeshi.
Shigeru Miyamoto.
Battle Royale is directed by Kinji Fukusuku.
Kinji Fugugumigu.
Kinji Fukasuku. Fukasaku.
Do you think Japanese people make fun of our names?
Probably.
I'm gonna go to Japan. I'm gonna make my last name...
Tommy Thompson.
Fukizuki.
That's not correct.
Oh yeah, what would be correct then?
This boy is not correct.
Good work stealing jokes from other people, you fucking nose.
He knows.
That's Ben's name.
If anyone, I'm the nose.
Anyway, Benjamin.
Benjamin. Well, actually, Ben, how many V-Bucks do you have?
200. Because
How
I've
much
never.
money have
Why
you
do you have so many V-Bucks?
That's-
Why do you spend money on a video game?
I've never spent money on Fortnite. The people that do buy the battle pass have got stacks because you have to buy the premium currency in order to buy the battle pass, right? So you have to spend money to get their money. What are you doing?
Nothing! Just
And
keep
'cause I've
talking
ne-
about the
because I've
logistics
never
of
done
Fortnite.
Keep talking about the in-game economy of
Wait,
Fortnite.
guys.
Well, there's not really like the games that have
It's
got.
not like TF2 when there are
TF2's got an actual
real...
economy which is sucks.
TF2 has real people playing on
That-
it.
that's-
You think you're playing against real people when you play against Fortnite? No. There's no real people playing Fortnite. There's only 12-year-olds.
Only Koreans.
Have you realized, if you think about it, if the string theory
See,
is...
I went with an actual joke, and you just went with something racist.
That's just what he does.
Yeah, true.
Also, if you think about it, like, if string theory is correct and, parallel universe theory is correct, and there's a world where the official US currency is just hair.
I thought you were going to say V-Bucks. And that would have been
Do you
funny.
understand either of the concepts that you were just talking about?
He probably does more than you do.
Yeah, I know, but
yeah, whoa,
doesn't
yeah.
mean
Young
he
Sheldon
does.
over here.
Are you playing him or
I'm
me?
you.
Young Sheldon doesn't.
Good. He's young Ben Shapiro.
Young Sheldon never yote.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
because Yeet didn't exist when he was young, you idiot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
regular Sheldon yoted all the time.
Yeah, regular Sheldon yeets everything. He yeet
He
his...
eat this, he eat that. Everything's a eat nowadays.
He yote his wife. He probably...
I think that would be how
I
they
don't
would
watch-
spice up Big Bang Theory. After
I
they,
don't watch Big Bang Theory anymore, but do you think Amy and Sheldon have ever done the 6?
Because after they married everyone, cause when they originally decided that none of them were marryable, and then they just gave everyone a wife, they then just got to start yeeting people
I
in order to
swear,
make it current.
they literally just added the characters Bernadette and Amy just for the sake of giving the male characters a relationship.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, because they ran out of like lol nerd funny jokes, so then they had to
Penny's the
start
only
making
character
it like
that
woman
actually
funny.
has a... Like, Penny's the only character that actually has a quote-unquote personality.
No, I don't think any of them do.
Not really.
Not
but
anymore, but...
That's why I said quote-unquote.
Well,
And
then-
another example of Ben not knowing how to use his ears.
Yeah, Ben.
Okay, new
How can you
topic.
own the libs if you don't use your ears?
Let's cool down. Let's do another improv. Sentence.
Okay, we'll go this way.
Once.
There.
Was.
12.
Year.
Old.
Goat.
Named.
Jerry.
Who?
Liked.
2.
Sniff.
The.
Pussy.
Which?
Made.
Him.
Very.
Happy.
With.
Several.
Different.
Women.
Called.
Lawrence.
Of.
Pakistan.
No, you ruined it.
You ruined it.
You're supposed to say Arabia. You.
No, because that's what you wanted.
Come and take me.
Are you gonna yell? Are you gonna
I
yell?
don't
At
think
me?
anyone could. This episode is just a train wreck. Every time we have you on, it's just a train wreck.
We didn't even talk about.
It was like that. Like last time we did an episode with you, it was a train wreck.
Don't talk. No,
but
we didn't
the
talk
thing
about
is,
anything.
We can't talk about that episode because that episode didn't happen
It
because
was also not advertiser friendly.
we record. Well, this one's not particularly advertiser friendly. I'm surprised that I haven't been taken down by I haven't had this podcast taken down by YouTube's like auto detecting of bad words.
Yeah, because Nick keeps saying the N word.
No, you do.
For a second, I thought you said nig. Okay? That confused me a lot. So, Nico, let's get going.
Ugh. This is a Christian household, Christopher.
Prove
Alright,
it.
let's do another improv sentence.
Okay. Once.
No, Ben has to start this time because I started
Damn it,
last time.
Shapiro.
Many.
Women.
Eat.
Yeet.
No.
Doesn't have to rhyme.
Why do many women eat yeet?
Why did you eat? Many people eat yeet. What? Ben, this is
story.
the audience is just listening to Ben's mind breaking down after he discovers the word yeet.
Well, because I still don't really understand what it means. I just sort of like
It
the
doesn't
sound of
mean
it.
anything. It's Gen Z language. It doesn't mean anything.
You're part of the generation that's part of the problem.
So are you.
Nah, I'm too old.
You're like old at heart, like actually old at heart. You're like a Gen Z who really doesn't identify with Gen Z culture.
It's not even that. It's not like I reject. I just don't pay attention.
No.
So it's hard.
This man here doesn't keep up with the memes, which is well, because you barely use the internet.
Well, I try to, but there's no internet in my room, so it makes it tricky.
Well, that's what you get when you move to the room that has crap
But
Wi-Fi.
no, but you see, it was fine like 4 weeks ago. It was a little slow, but I could.
As soon as you moved to
But
that
I
room,
could I could play like online games in the room, right?
yeah.
I could get that to work. But then I think just my laptop is degraded in a specific way.
well, no, because
so
I couldn't
get
use the
zero
the
internet.
Wi-Fi in that room on my phone either. So
But no, I can use the Wi-Fi on my phone. The phone works.
okay.
The laptop doesn't. And it used to be that as soon as I stepped out of the room, it would be perfect. But now I have to be like in the study where the router is to get it to function.
Wow.
So I think my laptop's
I like
just...
how during this entire
bad.
conversation, Christopher's just
Can I
like
just-
standing
can I
over there
just say
doing
something?
Fortnite
He's
dances.
just having a difficulty.
Can I just say, I
You like
Oh,
felt...
want
to
ride
my
horse.
no. See, he was
Why?
gonna set it up, I was gonna set it up, and you didn't say bicycle. I
Oh.
want to ride my bicycle.
I want to ride my bike.
I want to ride my bicycle.
I want to ride it where I like.
Bicycle.
Bicycle.
Bicycle. Okay, we're back after that brief intermission of
birthday. Who's this for?
Christopher got a parcel, so we'll just do an unboxing of that.
Oh!
This is green card.
Oh,
What
you
does
can
it say?
enroll to vote.
Happy birthday! Now that you're
Right, I
17,
forgot.
you can enroll and hate the government legally.
Yeah, he is
Well, it wasn't
17
illegal
now,
for you to do
everybody.
that.
Okay.
Is it actually your birthday?
It was his birthday about a week ago. I'm just going to move this a little bit just so it'll pick up him a little better. It won't make any difference. He'll still be picked up by the microphone.
It says sit behind the opposite side of the One Direction.
Well, one, I'm drinking.
Nick
Two, you got
Owens.
your fat ass.
Yeah,
sitting
Ben,
here.
you're taking up half the couch.
He
with
was
your
sitting on the
fat
arm of
ass.
the chair the whole time, completely content.
Hey, Ben Weinstein, more like.
That's a good one. That is a good one. Okay, keep going.
Did you even get past my name? Or
I just said Ben Weinstein more like, and he started laughing.
This is funny.
not funny?
You just activated my trap card.
Or do you
You just dress up like a
gonna-
woman.
I was
put on
gonna
a
say
cute
the
skirt and
N-word,
some
but-
thigh highs?
but, I won't.
You're the wild card of this podcast. You do know that, right?
You just go
Oh,
and
yeah?
shave your boy poops and you put on some thigh highs and you become
You become like,
Ow!
Don't talk about boy pussies. I've already talked to you about this before.
You can't say that word, Nicholas.
I love it. It's
This
like,
is a
I
family
told you
show.
about this.
It's a family show. You
No
can't
boy
say
pussy,
that.
no smeg, none of it.
Why can't we talk about Smegma, Nicholas?
No! Because it's gross.
Why must you oppress me?
Why can you not let him talk about big cheese?
My people have been oppressed for thousands of years. I've got internalized
Oh, as
oppression.
soon as it's...
Oh yeah, as soon as Ben, who isn't actually Jewish, gets oppressed, he starts bringing up the Holocaust and the slavery from Moses and all that.
Where's
stuff.
the proof, huh?
Yeah, where's the proof?
Where are the
How
bodies,
do we
Nicholas? How can you prove that the Holocaust even happened if you can't find
Where's
bodies?
the burning bush?
Look,
Where's Europe? That's right, it doesn't exist. It's all chemtrails.
Where's the moon? I haven't seen it personally.
Maybe you should look outside, you dingus. Hey, where's the Flat Moon Society?
Yeah, well, unlike the Earth, the moon has been observed to be round.
Look, if you see that there's no flat moon society, that's because no one's even been to the moon, because it's not real. Because if they'd been there, they'd know it's flat.
No.
And because there's no flat moon society, then you know that the moon's not real. So the moon landing was fake.
No, everyone knows that Stanley
Checkmate.
Kubrick was
Checkmate,
hired
Nicholas.
to fake the moon landing. But because he's such a perfectionist, he demanded that they actually film on location. It took you a while to get that.
Because he's an idiot.
That's true.
I mean, after all.
Did you see the little loading? After all, what? Finish your sentences, Christopher.
Finish your sandwiches, Benjamin!
I do.
I just want a podcast of you two arguing at each other for
Crusts
an hour
and
and a half.
all. It's good for your hair.
Disgusting.
Makes it curly.
Disgusting, I don't want a
Well,
dirty curly
you
hair.
clearly
The
eat a
devil
lot of
has
crust.
curly hair, Benjamin. Haven't you watched that episode of The Simpsons when he... No, it's The Simpsons movie
It's
where
the
he
movie.
says, I don't want you getting devil of purple hair.
Why is the devil Indian?
I don't want you getting devil purple hair.
That's my friend.
it's
The devil lives in New Delhi.
I was gonna make a racist joke, but I won't.
You didn't have to. Ben already beat you to the punch line.
I'll punch him.
In the scrot.
That's where the devil lives.
Let's
That's
do
why
more-
the hair's
let's do more
curly.
What's the word? It starts with I.
Improv.
Improv.
Okay. When?
You. Dab.
Dab.
Upon.
My.
Anus.
Brainus.
Yeah. No, anus.
Can you show me on this doll where the brainus is located?
It's the second brain he has in his anus.
It's my secondary brain because I'm young Sheldon.
Yeah.
Is that why?
He's looking through his head to try and find
Is that why all your ideas are shit?
Oh.
That's me crying, by the way.
Look,
I'll accept the Oscar now.
I have sinus problems too, but I don't bring them onto this podcast. I leave
You
them
are a
alone.
sinus problem.
Your nose is like 70% of your head.
That's not even where your sinuses are. They're in your head. Not in your nose.
They're connected to your nose.
Nicholas,
Connected to your ears too, and your eyes.
where would he go to make his nose so big?
He didn't. He was
Golds.
born that way.
Yeah, he smells gold and money. Then we all know that you work in a Swiss bank. There's no hiding it from us.
No, he works in Woolworths, which is a Swiss bank.
I've never seen. Yeah, but I think I winded myself by.
You're so lost for words that you started to
First of all, I've never
turn
seen
yourself inside out so you could
I've
re-examine your
never
whole
seen
self.
Ben working at Woolworths.
Nick has.
I have.
And how do I know that you're real?
You've lived with him for
if
like
my
20
eyes
years.
aren't real, then how
I've
can Nick
lived
be
with
real?
him for. No, he hasn't existed for 20 years.
How do you know?
You prefer. I'll destroy you.
Oh my, one more.
Nothing personal, kiddo.
Do you
just
start
business.
just doing a death growl like you're in Opeth or something right into
Oh,
the
you want to hear my
microphone?
death growl?
Sure.
Gonna hear my death growl?
No.
Wow, that's pretty intense,
Yeah,
dude.
that was really deathly.
If you were in like a dark alleyway and you heard someone giggling like that, you'd be freaked out.
Probably wouldn't hear them because I'd have my headphones in, listen to some banging jams.
Yeah.
Like some poppin' jams. Some.
Like the Carpenters.
I do have a Carpenter's song. One.
What is it? Is it Jeremiah Sands was a righteous man?
Is it Sandman? Mr.
I don't know. I
Enter
listen to the
Sandman
Carpenters.
by the Carpenters.
No, wait. Which one's the Carpenter's song that I have? I'll ask. Hey, Google! Close to You. That's the song I have.
Of course, like
Why do
Buzz, suddenly up every time you are near.
is that the Carpenters song you have?
just
Like that.
we long to be close
See, you don't keep it up.
Yeah.
He's
That's,
weak.
that's the point. You have to try and. The point of this game is to just try and see how we need to do one of those like stupid try not to laugh challenges.
You already did one. It's the
No,
most
no,
popular
no.
video on your channel.
No,
Yeah,
it's
it's
not.
got emojis on the thumbnail. That makes it popular.
It's not. Spubby
Oh no,
is.
sorry, it's r/Spubby. Let's dedicate a moment to talk to our sponsor, r/Spubby.
Ben has to try and keep a straight face, and it's just our job to make him laugh.
It'd be like a 2-second video. You'd just be like,
Oh shit, that was close.
you'd just be like, funny smell, and I'd be like, yep, that's
You're already smiling.
Hey Ben.
He just made himself laugh. Okay, Ben, straight
rhymes?
face,
Wait,
straight
wait,
face.
I can't do that. I'm the big gay.
Pen.
We need to think of funny rhymes.
Glenn.
Keep going.
It's pretty funny.
10.
You did it. You killed him. Finally, you realized this whole podcast was a ruse so we could kill Chris Owens.
I love RuneScape, dude. I think I got some air stuck in my throat.
Yeah, it's from these nuts.
What?
I'm gonna shove.
That's where the devil lives.
Ben, that's pedophilia.
Because it's...
is.
Look, we joke that he's really 7, but he's actually like in his mid-20s at this point. So you need to just...
Mid-20s, honey, I'm 53.
You look great.
He's got the skeleton of a 70-year-old.
You've got the...
I'm not denying that.
Sometimes I wake up.
Can a 7-year-old do that?
The audience can't see what you're doing.
I know!
He's doing a dance from like the Fireys in Labyrinth.
Sometimes I wake up like in the morning because I don't normally wake up until about 10, but
So normally
he
wake
has
up.
to wake up early to go to school, and I sometimes wake up early in the
6:30
morning
precisely.
for no reason, and I just can hear him walking around because of his bones crackling as he walks. Stop whipping! Stop dabbing! You hate that culture, and yet you constantly do it.
Dude, I only do it ironically. It's okay.
Yeah, but that's not an excuse anymore. You do it too often for it to count as ironic.
I only do it in front of you. I don't do it in front of anyone else.
I don't believe.
Oh wait,
you
no,
at all.
all my friends dab.
Yeah.
So you ironically inject.
You realize I
marijuanas
could
and become a
hear you
complete
and your
wreck on
nerd
accident.
friends playing D&D yesterday. Not yesterday, the day before.
I'll do that. I play D&D.
That's fun.
I could hear like half the stuff you kids were talking about was just awful.
You will.
Why was it like?
I'm pretty sure you guys set the age of consent in your game to 5. I overheard you that.
Do you need a spell to do that, or is that like a political
rolling
thing?
D20s while setting up, being like, "What's the age of consent?" And we rolled it, and someone rolled a 2 at some point.
Watched a movie yesterday called Alice. It was cool. It's a Czechoslovakian film made in 1988.
What a fun activity.
So back
for
when
us.
Czechoslovakia was a country.
Back when it was Czechoslovakia, and it's an adaptation of Alice in Wonderland, but it's not as like fairy tale-y as like all the other kinds of Alice in Wonderland movies.
Not as Tim Burton.
No, well, actually, no. If anything, it's more Tim Burton than Tim Burton, because like, it's very unsettling of a kind of movie. The production design is very dark and unsettling. There's lots of just creepy alleys, and it's like they use a lot of taxidermy animals and stuff.
Stars Helena Bonham Carter. Like
No.
everyone's a goth.
No.
Johnny Depp turns
Stop.
up one.
Anyway, this movie uses a lot of stop motion.
Okay.
And then the only actual actor on screen is the like 7-year-old girl who plays Alice.
Yeah. What's her name?
Why do you want
Something
to know?
Czechoslovakian. I can't remember.
Like Steve.
Bill?
Can you slap him in the back of the head, please?
I agree with him. I think Steven is the Czechoslovakian name.
You agree?
Yes.
You agree that her name is Stephen?
Yes. Do you disagree with
but-
your
okay.
own beliefs?
But
No,
what-
I'm just shocked that was something you could agree with.
But what I find interesting about the movie is it's the structure, the way it's written, the way it's done. It's clearly intended to be a kids movie, but then in the actual production design and the visuals of the film, it's very eerie and unnerving.
Hey, you ever caught a mosquito with your hand?
Yeah.
While it's flying?
Yeah.
Nice. You want to hear a story that happened today? My
Yeah.
friend caught a mosquito with his hand, slapped it onto the computer screen in computing, opened MS Paint, and drew an arrow, and it wrote mosquito. It was funny.
Mosquito.
Mosquito.
Oh.
Stop playing with yourself, Ben.
Yeah, Ben.
Oh.
Stop flapping your flaps.
Okay,
I haven't got any flaps.
And you want to see your flaps? Right here! Flap here, flap here.
Why isn't your cover actually connected to your phone?
Because
Because
he's what's
it's got
known as a
magnets.
fool.
Ah.
Oh, wow. I want to show you something really cool.
Oh!
Dude, where'd it go?
I thought you were gonna like throw it at his crotch.
Yeah, I was afraid that I was gonna get.
And then he
Dropped it politely and gently.
on
onto
his
my
crotch.
left nut.
Newt, it's pronounced. I'll have you know.
Oh,
Left-
okay.
On who's newt nut.
My canute.
There's nugget.
Biscuit, nugget, and a biscuit. Oh, let's talk about Venom.
Oh,
Venom was good.
I like the
I like
scene
Venom.
where he says funny.
Venom was.
Shut up,
Well,
Ben!
no. Okay, he actually does that quite often. He does say quite a few funnies.
Yeah,
But,
I like the scene when he goes,
I think it really like kicked into motion like once Eddie and Venom actually met, and then because then the movie
So
was actually
gee.
nice and interesting.
I was at work and there were these kids buying Halloween costumes because apparently Woolies sells that. And
can you give
And
me
I-
a deal?
no, I said, "Oh, are you gonna be a spooky, scary skeleton?" And the kid said, "Shivers down your spine." And it went like, "Hey, Lamau, kid."
Did you slap him and say, next time you come here, it will be a last?
No, I didn't. Oddly
What is
enough.
this?
Is that still recording?
Oh yeah, we
Yeah.
still record.
Oh yeah. Okay, I think it's about time to end this. Let's end it with one last
Stream?
improv sentence. I'll start it.
Tomorrow.
When?
Can we start the... I wasn't...
Okay,
Let's
Ben?
start with me because, you know, I'm cool.
you're the guest.
Thermonuclear.
detonation.
Is
Incredibly.
Bad.
for
Me.
And
our
Collective.
country.
within
The.
World.
Everybody! That's it! That's the
Let's harmonize our
He finally
screams.
farted!
Harmonize our screams.
Oh!